It is a Sunday matinee on a perfect afternoon in San Francisco. The Dodgers coming off their highest scoring game in 3 months. Look to take 2 out of 3 against the rival Giants. Tyler Glasnow against Robbie Ray in the rubber game from Oracle Park coming up in 30 minutes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by your Toyota dealers, John Hartung, Jerry Erston Jr., D-Train, Dontrell Willis. Train, we've got 14 games to go. And another big one today in the Bay.
Every game from now on is going to be a big ball game, and that's a fun thing, especially for this locker room. They're very experienced. They know what's at stake. They know that the Padres are chasing them right now, so they have to continue to win every single matchup. Hey, let's just win out and take champagne very early.
We talk about must win. It is a must win because you have to be able to win series down the stretch against your rival San Francisco Giants. A must-win for the Dodgers. And I desperately need a win, John, because my Bears aren't looking too good right now.
Not doing well at all, Jerry. We won't bring that up. Max Muncy, we're going to talk about him. He's getting a scheduled day off today, and boy, does he need it. Was hit by a pitch on his forearm Friday night, then hit in the head last night. After the game, he said his jaw was sore, but his time playing football in high school, I guess, prepared him for that shot to the head last night, so he said. Kike Hernandez is starting today's series finale for the Dodgers at third base. And Max Muncy's name is added to a list of guys who were a bit banged up. Dalton Rushing expected to come off the IL in a couple days, fouled that ball off his leg. Roki Sasaki making another start for Oklahoma City as he continues his rehab from shoulder bursitis. Will Smith just placed on the IL yesterday with a bone bruise in his hand, and Brock Stewart has been on the IL for a month with shoulder inflammation. Every team hopes to make the playoffs first and foremost, but they want to get to October healthy, Jerry, and obviously players only can control so much when it comes to injuries. Is there anything guys can do to at least eliminate some of the risk over the course of the final 14 games?
Look at Max Muncy, and there's really nothing he could have done. The night before, he gets hit on the wrist, very unfortunate, and then last night gets hit on the head. Upper 90s fastball. It's just so unfortunate. I think the biggest thing you can do as a player is just make sure control the controllables. No soft tissue injuries, meaning you stay hydrated, and if you do feel a little something, make sure you let the training staff know. This is a freak injury as well to Dalton Rushing. We saw Will Smith, another freak injury. So sometimes you just can't control when things happen like this. So just try to control the controllables. No hamstring, quad, calf injuries. Try to stay hydrated.
All of these plays are baseball plays, and so that's why this is so difficult to me. Will Smith gets a foul tip off his hand. That can happen to anybody, so it's not like they're doing the little things to not keep themselves healthy. These are activities they're engaging in, and they're just unfortunate plays, and so you just got to hope. You got to put some sage in that locker room. You got to spread some garlic, whatever you need to do to keep
What's
the
up
rest
with you and garlic today?
Leave me alone. I just said garlic fries one time. I ain't eating garlic in the morning. But the bottom line is you have to do whatever you can to try to keep these guys that are in the locker room right now that are healthy as they can, because key injuries can derail seasons, especially when they're not timed, and that's just the bottom line. But if you look at the highlights right there, those are all baseball plays, and so you can't defend that.
A lot of luck involved as well. As we take a look at how Dave Roberts is stacking his lineup to go up against Giants left-hander Robbie Ray, you've got Shohei at the top, followed by Mookie, Teo, and Freddie. Tommy Edmonds going to be playing center field, batting fifth. Then you see Alex Call is in left field, Miguel Rojas at second base, Kike is playing third base, and Ben Rortvedt does the catching even day game after a night game, Jerry.
I'm looking at Teoscar Hernandez, who's really starting to swing the bat well. The last couple months, surprisingly, has not hit left-handed pitching. That is a shock to me. I think that's about to change. I expect him to have a big day.
You know what? Especially with the way that Robbie Ray throws the straight fastball, it oftentimes is inner half. I'm looking at Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman, and Kike Hernandez to be ready to engage early. You know that he throws a lot of fastballs. Top 5 in all of baseball for starting pitcher, getting fastball strikeouts at the top of the zone. So you got to eliminate the breaking ball, and you get a fastball at the top of the zone, get on top of it.
And we see Shohei in the leadoff spot there. He will make his next start on the mound Tuesday night against the Phillies at Dodger Stadium. But there's been a lot of chatter about what Shohei's role will be as a pitcher when the postseason gets here. Kirsten Watson is with the Dodgers in San Francisco. She joins us live with more on that. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, John. Yeah, and a lot of that conversation stems because, one, this will be his first postseason as a pitcher. Of course, we saw him last year experiencing his first postseason in general. And then you add the factor that he's only built up to 5 innings. And his next start, as you mentioned on Tuesday, that's going to be the plan for him to get through 5 innings of work. And then he'll likely have one more to close out the regular season. So Dave Roberts today, he was asked, due to that 5-inning limit and just build up for Shohei Ohtani, is there a thought that he could be in a piggyback role, or even is that thought where him potentially being the closer of this group for October, is that still on the table? Here's what Dave Roberts had to say.
With our pitching staff, I expect them to go beyond 5 innings, starting staff. But every game is different. With Shohei, I don't know that answer. Yeah, I mean, he's only gone 5 innings, and my expectation is that on Tuesday he's going to go 5, so he'll have one more after that. So I don't know that answer right now.
Do you anticipate using him as a starter in the postseason, or is...
Yeah, we do. Could it change down the road in the postseason? Possibly, but right now we see him as a starter.
Just the way that the rule is, like, too complicated to entertain the release?
It's not too complicated. It's kind of, you're just kind of, once you fire him, which we haven't done yet, and you decide to come out of it, you have to take that cost of losing the DH, losing him as a hitter. So it's pretty clear. You just got to be willing to take the chance. And also, we haven't done it, but those are conversations too.
The good news that for Shohei Ohtani, if they decide that they want to have him be a closer or try something like that, he has done it before in the World Baseball Classic for Team Japan. It does sound like, oh, I got you guys. I thought you had lost you for a second. But considering he has experienced it before, they would feel comfortable if they had to go to it come October. Dave Roberts did say that they're still deciding on if they would try it to close out the regular season. But at this moment, the plan for him moving forward is to be as a starter come October. And if anything changes, they'll just kind of adjust that plan when the time comes, guys.
I don't know. Obviously, just 2 weeks left in the regular season, so not a lot of time to get him assimilated to possibly being a closer if they wanted to do that. Kirsten, thank you very much. So as of now, Dave Roberts says Shohei will remain a starting pitcher for the postseason. Jerry, I know you like the idea of him being a closer, so does Nomar. Do you think Doc in the front office still might consider him possibly coming in relief?
Yeah, I think so, especially the way Tyler Glasnow has pitched. If Tyler Glasnow continues to pitch like he did last start and is healthy, I expect them they go Yamamoto 1, Blake Snell 2, and then Tyler Glasnow 3. Where does that really leave Shohei Ohtani? Are you going to have a 4th starter? Possibly not in the postseason. So I feel that he would be better equipped for the postseason run as that closer. And remember, Aaron, well, where can he pitch if he's playing in the game? Well, he can warm up down in the dugout. It's spacious down there, and they can have a bullpen.
You know what? It's easier to downshift. So I love that they built him up for 5 innings to have both the options. It'd be a little trickier if they wanted him to be a starter and trying to build up. You don't have enough time if you're only throwing 2 innings. But now they built him up to be able to go 5 innings, and now you can put pedal to the metal. If they tell him and have a discussion, hey, we want you to be a closer or a long man down there in a high-level situation to deal with the teeth of the lineup, I love this move. So it's Shohei's world. Wherever he's comfortable doing, he just wants to be able to be in a situation to get big time outs. And with the bullpen, especially trying to struggle at the end, he could be another weapon and option for Dave Roberts back there in the back.
Sheehan could also be a starter, but also could be a weapon. We didn't even mention him. Sheehan could be that weapon out of that bullpen or that 4th starter. But I want Shohei Ohtani to really focus on offense, because offense, this G-Train, offense, sometimes it's hard to come by in that postseason, and we rely on his offense.
We certainly do, and the Dodgers do. Robbie Ray went 6 innings, had 6 strikeouts, and a no decision against the Dodgers back on July 13th. He gets the ball in the series finale in San Francisco. Steven and Nora will join us. Game preview coming up next. Plus, Andy Pajes and his rocket arm sent Friday's game to extra innings. We'll see where this throw ranks in our top 10 plays of the week coming up. Regular season ends 2 weeks from today. The playoff picture could change a lot over these next 14 days. Dodgers currently the 3 seed, meaning they would host the Mets in the wild card round, although the Mets lead over the Giants for the final wild card spot is only a half game. Phillies would await the winner in a 3-6 matchup, or in the 3-6 matchup. Padres and Cubs, the other wild card matchup, but the winner there taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. And with a win over the Giants today, the Dodgers would have their first series win on the road since taking 2 out of 3 in Tampa to start the month of August. Steven Nelson and Oral Hershiser will have the call at Oracle Park right now. They join us live from the booth with a preview. Hi, Steven.
Hey, John. Hey, fellas. You're right. It's been a tough stretch for the Dodgers away from Dodger Stadium, Oral. But what we saw last night, a 44th comeback win of the year, and a balanced and really relentless offensive approach helped them even the series.
Yeah, they needed it. It wasn't going to be a ham and egg night, but the ham came through, and that was the offense. You know what? They came back from a 4-1 deficit. That was great to see. Then the Giants come back at the end of the game and look like they're getting it close, but the Dodgers come back and score again. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to get 17 hits and 13 runs, you're going to need a whole lineup.
We're going to see another great starting pitching matchup, Tyler Glasnow against Robbie Ray.
Well, it's going to be a battle of 0-1 or 1-0 because both these guys don't throw many first pitch strikes. But if they do, they don't end up walking you, and they really get you out. So I would love to see Tyler Glasnow landing his curveball again like he did in his last outing, which might have been the best outing of his career. And Robbie Ray has got his slider working, so the Dodgers will have to watch out for that.
Glasnow coming off that 7-inning of no-hit baseball performance against the Rockies. Meanwhile, Robbie Ray Day has basically been win day for San Francisco. Today, John, is Sunday, which means it's lose day for my Chicago Bears, but I'm working, so they can't hurt
Jerry's
me.
too. And Jerry's too.
Sorry, Jay Hare.
When the game's over at halftime, it's not a good day.
Don't look at the score.
All right.
Yeah, because that doesn't matter. In sports, who needs the score?
All right, guys, we'll see you. Hopefully you're talking about a Dodger win coming up at 1 o'clock. Tyler Glasnow, they talked about him, got his first win since March 31st. Last time out against the Rockies with those 7 no-hit innings, trying to make it 2 wins in a row this afternoon in San Francisco. Plus, Shohei took Logan Webb deep last night to the tune of 454 feet high off the batter's eye at Oracle. The longest home run by a Dodger this season has a spot in our plays of the week. They are coming up next.
Well, Shohei Ohtani hit the Dodgers' longest home run of the season last night. It was his 49th home run of the year. It went 454 feet. So here's a look at Ohtani's numbers across the last 2 seasons since he's been with the Dodgers against the Giants. And you look at him and you go, wow, those are really good numbers. And I would say, who does Shohei Ohtani not have good numbers against? I think every team probably sees similar numbers to that.
Well, look, this guy's a 3-time unanimous MVP for a reason. We're watching, and we almost take it for granted a little bit because he's playing in a Dodger uniform right now, and most of us on this part of California don't like that. But he's one of those generational type players. I mean, his 54 home runs last year were the first time a Dodger player ever has hit 50. And with his next home run, hopefully it's not today, but his next home run will make him only the first player since Alex Rodriguez in 2001 and 2002 to have back-to-back 50 homer seasons. And when you think of the power, I mean, you see it all right here. Then you think of the fact that he can steal bags.
Yeah.
Then you think of the fact that he can get on the mound and throw 100. It's incredible to watch this guy. I'm a huge fan of the way he plays the game of baseball. I just wish that he would take a little bit easier on the Giants when they have these games.
It's like Michael Phelps. He was made to swim. Shohei Ohtani was made to play this game, and I think it's very clear when you look at all of his numbers and what a dynamic player he is. So if you're on the mound, I'm sure there were guys that had your number or that were really good, maybe even Hall of Famers that you've potentially faced.
Yeah.
Oral, just another offensive clinic for the Dodgers. This was a huge series going in. Both teams fighting for postseason position, longtime rivals, and the Dodgers take the last 2 to take the series.
Yeah, and you know what? They came in here with a winning streak. They lose game 1, but they turned it right around. And that's that fight that Dave Roberts has said this team has had. They've come back from a 4-1 deficit yesterday, and today they put another 18-hit attack on them. No home runs, so doing it without the long ball also.
And once again, Tyler Glasnow was outstanding on the mound, 6 2/3, really strong. And that sets up a huge series at home. 3 games against the Phillies. The Dodgers 4.5 games back of the Phils for that second seed in the National League, and 3 more terrific pitching matchups.
Yeah, when you look at the pitching, they got protected by the offense, right? That's why they get the 2 victories here to win this series. But also protected the bullpen so that the bullpen is now ready for that Philly series because of these great offensive productions. So both parts of the team protecting each other, coming up with W's. This is a good sign.
All right, buckle it up. It's Sheehan, Ohtani, and Snell scheduled for the Dodgers against Suarez, Sanchez, and Luzardo for the Phillies.
Michael, you came off the bench in this one tonight, but just to have a 3-hit game yourself, what's been working so well for you offensively?
I think my timing's better. I'm just really trying to compete up there. That's really been the main thing over this past month. I mean, just fighting for every at-bat. I think that's kind of been the team theme is, forget about the numbers and just go out there, compete, do all the little things right. And we've been doing a little bit more of that in this series.
Yeah, another big thing has been showing a lot of fight at the plate. When you look at whether it was yesterday against Logan Webb, today against Robbie Ray, I know you weren't in there to face him early in this one, but how you guys were able to put 11 runs on the both of them, what does that say just about the group right now offensively?
I mean, from my viewpoint, that we've just been relentless. I mean, the at-bats have been, super quality and just always traffic on, moving guys over, putting pressure on the pitcher and the defense, and then coming through in those spots. When we do have those opportunities, and so that's been the biggest thing, and we're trying to continue to do that.
I've noticed that something sparks when you're playing here, and how well you've been playing against your former team. What do you think that is? I don't know if it's just a familiar ballpark or just knowing, having played behind a lot of those guys. I definitely been swinging the bat well here. So, maybe there's something there, but really the big thing is just I've been focused on myself and being a little bit more competitive up there and, having an impact. Now 13 games left in the regular season. How valuable is it to feel this way right now as you prepare for October?
It's great. I mean, obviously, it's been a rough season personally, but to be feeling this way going into a playoff push and the playoffs itself, that's all I can ask for, and just got to continue to keep doing those things that have gotten me to this place.
All right, Michael, congratulations on this win, the results, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Dave, well, first, just when you look at what Teoscar was able to do against a lefty, obviously he's known for being a lefty killer, but for him getting back on track, the results we've been seeing recently, and then you see him against Robbie Ray, does that just say that he's truly turned a corner right now?
I do. I think that, just his overall play the last couple weeks has been very good, but it has been good to see him do what he does against left. But even today, I just thought that, versus right the other night versus Webb, he's just taken much better bats, and just overall play, the defense has been much better as well.
With the at-bats yesterday against Logan Webb, the ones today against Robbie Ray, that's now 11 earned runs that you guys were able to charge the two of them. Just what is that saying about the group right now?
It just says that, if the intent is there, then the performance should be there, and the quality of a bat this series has been heightened, and we've seen some fruit. So it's just been good to see that, guys are winning pitches, seeing a lot of pitches, having good at-bats against two really good starters, in Webb and Robbie Ray. So, it's in there, and, we're going to see some three good arms coming up this homestand.
What does it say about where Glasnow's at this point in the season, where he's fighting command, walks four guys, and then finds a way to compete and stay in there as long as he did?
I think the thing that, for me, I love the fact that he's fighting through some things even when he doesn't have his best stuff or he doesn't feel great. He still finds ways to go out there and compete, get outs, go deep in a game, and for me to be able to say that he's unflappable, that's a big compliment. And I think that he's getting to that point because, as we get further down the road, it's going to get more intense and more heated. And so for him to be able to manage his emotions and still continue to make pitches, it's really good for him and for us.
Can pitchers build upon each start, even at this stage of his career?
I think so. I think they certainly can. But I think that his ability to block out noise and just kind of focus on the hitter, that pitch, I think that's the most telling thing for me.
Is Muncy 100% healthy since he spotted the runner?
That was a good catch. Kurt Kirby owes him a bottle of wine for that one. That was a great catch by Muncy, watching the game, even though he's not in the game. But that was great. I'm going to talk to him tonight and see, he's going to take one of those games off against the Phillies. I'm not sure which one. And so I'm going to decide after talking to him which one makes the most sense.
What's the significance of 23 runs in 2 games against 2 pretty good starting pitchers?
I think just intent, quality of a bat, winning pitches, using the whole field, not punching. And so I think that all of these things kind of, it's in there. We've seen it. Maybe not the consistency we would have liked, but, when you're facing 2 really good arms and to see us do what we did tonight is certainly encouraging.
How encouraging was it to see Conforto have the day he had, especially coming off the bench?
It was great. It was great. And obviously, we're going to have a bunch of lefties coming up here, 4 in a row, starting with today. And so I just wanted to get him in there as soon as I could to keep him kind of going because I think he's in a good spot. But he gets the credit for being ready and coming off the bench had a really nice day. Yeah, I think so. He's off the interstate, which is a good thing, and but I think that he's on the come. He's having good at bats, and so it's up to me to keep him, trying to keep him involved and getting at bats.
Well, Tyler, when you look at this outing, just how did you find settling into this one, just with a little bit of a longer start, longer inning of work, but just kind of getting on track as you got deeper into the game?
Yeah, not much feel for kind of anything early on, and kind of the whole game, to be honest. I think it got better later, though, kind of just working with Ben back there, and I started to find my slider a little bit. Each inning was kind of up and down, but I was just glad I could kind of go deep into the game and give the pen a little bit of a rest.
When you can do that, is it just telling to you how you're able to kind of make adjustments in game mechanically or how you're feeling?
Yeah, I think this is encouraging for sure. I think this is probably one of the, timing-wise, the worst I've felt probably all year, and it was just trying to go out there and compete, and it ended up working out.
How much is that a growth area for you to be able to just go out and compete, even though you're not feeling sharp, not feeling 100% or anything like that?
Yeah, it's encouraging. I think, just kind of where I'm at since I got back out the IL, it's just easier to kind of put it out of my mind and just go compete. And if my stuff sucks, it's whatever. As long as I can kind of get it into the zone and get some weak contact, it's helpful.
You hear about hitters when they're in that hitting zone, they have this kind of feeling that they're in the zone. What you've strung together since you've come back, is that something that you feel too, that you're on that type of zone?
I would not say today I was in the zone, but I think when the things are going well, or when you're able to kind of just not, I guess just kind of go out there and get into a rhythm for sure. I think today was a little rougher, but I think the last few I've kind of felt like that. Maybe not today, but the last few, yeah.
To get the results, though, what you've been able to do, not just the last 2 or 3 or 5, it's been a significant amount of time here.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that something that you can lean on as far as confidence? Is it your curveball? What is it that's been able to carry you forward?
I think it's just kind of whatever works in the moment. As far as scouting report or whatever that is, I think just what feels good in that inning, just throwing it with conviction. Whether it's if I have my curveball early, I'll go with that. More sinkers today. Four seam wasn't really working, and then as the game went on, I kind of leaned on the slider a little bit more. So I think it's just adjusting to what I feel and then just having conviction while throwing it.
How much easier was it to start getting all that together once the offense gave you that type of lead?
It's definitely a little bit more breathing room. I think especially just coming out and having a good chance of a win always makes it less crazy, I guess. But I think timing-wise, it was kind of rough all game. But I'm just glad I could kind of grind through today.
2 in a row since not having one since the end of March. I mean, this is not something you're used to.
Yeah, who knows? Hopefully they come in bunches. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Your thoughts here overall in the series, particularly after the way it started off on Friday?
Disappointing. I mean, just talking about that inside, we win the first game. We score 4 runs in the first inning yesterday. It feels pretty good, and then to be where we are today is disappointing. So it got away from us in a hurry. Obviously we gave up a lot of hits and a lot of runs to a team that makes you work. If you don't throw it over the plate, they end up wearing you out some.
Robbie came out really strong in that first inning. Second inning, things kind of got away from him. Just what were you seeing as far as his command as to what might have been a signal for him?
Just missing, up with his fastball, and wasn't as proficient with his breaking ball today. Stuff was good. The velo was there. The ride to it was there. It ended up being 4 walks and some really deep counts, and had to get him.
You're probably going to see Yamamoto and Glasnow again in some big games next weekend. What can you do to maybe fare a little bit better?
Yeah, kind of tweak the approach. We got to make these guys work a little bit too. They got pretty deep into the game. Yamamoto's got the ability. He's a little bit more at times a strike thrower. Glasnow, you're always in between whether or not you want to make him work or try to get that fastball early in the count. And kind of nothing really worked with it today. So we'll talk about changing our approach, and we have to do something differently.
What did they tell you on the ball call there on Peguero?
Well, the pitch comm was going in and out, and then it was like if you got closer, it was working, and it wasn't. But ultimately, he's got to point to his hat and let him know that the pitch comm wasn't working, and he didn't on that particular pitch.
Bob, you had to use a lot of bullpen the last 2 days, probably an uncharacteristic amount behind the 2 starters you had out there. Just where does that leave you going into the next series?
Well, look, we have guys that can give us length. We have quite a few guys that can give us length. So as of right now, we're in a pretty good position. We'll see how we are after Tang's start tomorrow. One of the reasons we cut Bivens off a little early today was give us some length. Same thing with, Brubaker today. Could have let him finish the game, and, so we can bring these guys back a little bit early. Same thing with Beck yesterday, 2 instead of 3. So it all depends on how much we get out of Tang tomorrow.
I know you guys have been adamant that you're playing one game at a time. Your focus is one game at a time. Has the sort of the tenor of this Arizona series changed at all with how hot they are and the position you guys are in?
With Arizona?
With Arizona. Going to Arizona.
They're a good team, We're going to have to play well again to beat them over there. So, look, there's several teams that are in this thing. So we're trying to focus on ourselves, not look behind, not look too far forward.
Just, it ended up being a small thing, I guess, in the grand scheme of the game. But when Conforto came up and he had bases loaded, were the infielders in, or were they sort of like playing half in, half double play, or just what was?
It was in a position where if it was hit hard, if we could turn it, we'd turn it. If not, we got to cut off the run at the plate. With Glasnow pitching the way he was, I didn't feel like we could play back and just give him another run for sure. Ended up, getting through and giving him 2 runs right there. But that was the thinking.